Okay. Hi, everyone. Um, I'm so grateful to be part of this event tonight. And I'm the first presenter. My name is Julie Moffat, and I am the Qigong practitioner here at Smilow Cancer Hospital. I teach at 5520 Park Avenue in Trumbull. I'm usually there on Fridays. I will be there this Friday. And we usually are outdoors now that spring and summer's coming. So we practice together in a small group in the garden, which is just amazing because we have the sound of the waterfall, we have the trees, we have the sunlight, we can connect our bodies through the earth and the sky. And it's a really wonderful community that we're building. So I'm truly excited to be part of this presentation, which is, for me, Qigong is a practice that allows me to feel more connected to my body and to reestablish the trust that is necessary for my body to continue to thrive. So Qigong is a healing art, very ancient, probably 5,000 plus years old. And I want to give you an experience in this 10, 15 minutes. So we all have about 15 minutes to present. And the best way to understand Qigong is to actually do it. So I'm going to invite you to, you can stand if you wish. You can also stay seated in your chair, and I'll demonstrate standing. Um, Mostly just enjoy this gentle movement and remember that the wonders of life are only available when we are 100% present. So we're taking this 15 minutes just to dive into the preciousness of this time that we have together. Uh, and so I hope you enjoy. So I'm going to stand and give you as much of a demonstration as possible in terms of the practice. Everyone can hear me okay? Can everyone hear me okay? Yes? Okay. Hmm. One sec. I'm trying to adjust so I can see all of you. So let's just begin with our feet about hip width apart, our arms by our sides, and we can just do a little sort of gentle movement forward and backward. Oh, what time on Friday? It's at 2 o'clock. Um, so let's see how, feel free to keep sending messages and I'll respond to them at the end of the 15 minutes. So just sort of gentle rocking and breathing and adjusting our posture as well as our mind. And then we're just going to slowly gather and collect energy and wash it through our bodies. So a self-regulation of the breath, movement, and an attention to coming into our bodies as if we are returning home. Most important thing when you practice is to bring a soft, gentle, natural smile to your face. There's lots of studies done on smiling as a way to boost the immune system, to send a message of presence to your body. In Qigong, we intentionally move slowly. And I'm just going to change the movement, and I just want you to follow along at your own pace. I'm giving you sort of appetizer portions of similar movements we might do in an hour-long class. If you watch me from the side, my spine is as straight as it can be, but natural, whether I'm in a chair or whether I'm standing. But there's a sense of relaxation to my posture. So it's not rigid, yet I'm alert, yet relaxed at the same time. And what's super valuable in our practice of Qigong is to establish a sense of trust with our bodies. And you might even, if the concept of trust is heart view. Again, now I'm going to go from out and then to in. Just invite or affirm to your body that there is an honoring of your mind coming home, the body being a safe place that you can trust as we start to self regulate. And then let's just oil some joints. So when I mean oiling, I mean rotating some of the big joints. I'm going to do my wrists. Hope you're joining me. Any way you want to move them in a circular fashion is to hydrate the joints. And when we hydrate the joints, the wrists, the shoulders, the neck, the knees, the ankles, the chi, the circulation, the blood, the life force will flow more easily. How about the shoulders? Just, especially at this time of day, lifting the shoulders and then rolling them back, maybe coordinating it with your breath, with an inhale, a long, slow, gentle exhale, and honoring that there's a flexibility to your movement that then influences the flexibility of your mind in this moment that we're sharing together. Forward rolls. And by the way, Qigong it is exercise, but truly it's more of a lifestyle. So when I say lifestyle, and I'll just do one shoulder at a time, and I'm going to imagine I'm rolling my shoulders and I'm kind of in water. So there's a floating, drifting, very supportive atmosphere, environment that my body is in. So only when I move slowly does my body have the opportunity to heal. Place my hands closer to my waist and widen my stance. I'm going to look down and just make sure my toes are forward. My hips are relaxed. It's like I'm sitting on a cloud. So my knees aren't straight, they're bent, soft, and there's a buoyant feeling as I rotate my hips in big, wide circles. So opening up the back body, my hands even can massage my back body, my kidneys, and then I'm going to reverse my circles. The slower you move, the more you feel, the more you discern as to what areas of your body might feel blocked or stagnant. And these wide circles are very classic way to warm up the body for a qigong or a more of a martial art practice. So I like to do at least 3 up to 9. You could even do more than that in each direction, and then I reverse. Again, this is just a little bit of warm up. And then to my knees, I'll bring my knees closer together, whether I'm sitting in a chair or standing. And I'm just going to massage my knees as I rotate them in circles. Again, going in both directions. And we can remind ourselves as we massage our knees, there's a lot of pressure points around our knees that connect to our immune system, to building blood, to building energy in the body. And even this movement is very good for pumping the lymph. So there's a gentle sort of upward flow as we're circling our knees. And then I'm just going to come back and I'm going to invite my body to move spontaneously. And I know our next presentation by Tess is on horsemanship, but I like to imagine here that I'm like a wild horse that's shaking and dispersing any stress that may be stuck in my body. So I know some of you have practiced with me before, so we all do spontaneous movement in a different way. But I want you to think of yourself like an animal that maybe just had a stressful encounter. The animal would intuitively know how to move stress out of the body by doing this sort of gentle up and down, side to side, maybe even, if it's okay for you, raising your arms, clearing the brain, lifting the spirit, letting the armpits breathe, and also moving the lymph. And again, my arms, if I slow it down, you'll see they're in a circular motion. So I really like spontaneous movement. It's a critical part of a practice because it puts our body in a state of safe letting go. Because anything that's stuck in my body, this is another way to do spontaneous movement, side to side, anything that's stuck in my body is coming to the surface. And then through my practice, there's a natural sort of letting go and release that happens emotionally, physically, energetically. This is a great way to get the organs moving. So some liver stagnation on the right, maybe some spleen or stomach on the left. And I maybe even make a sound. If I come a little closer, the sound would be like this. Or I always feel a little self-conscious doing that by myself, so I know you're all doing it with me. So you'll notice after you shake for even a couple minutes that the body starts to feel as if you have something that's sort of more tingly, energetic. And then let's gather. Let's gather all that we have and all that we can bring in our bodies and wash through the inside of the body. So this is a long, slow, deep inhale as we gather energy from the sky, from the moon, from the stars. And then a super long, slow, deep exhale as we imagine cleaning through the body. This is honestly the best shower you will be able to give yourself today. It's through the brain, through the throat, through the organ systems, through all systems. We are sifting, clearing, cleansing, and releasing. Let's go down now. Let's gather the earth, let it rise up through our bodies, and then surround our bodies in sort of a rainbow of light, you might think. So if you're feeling down, this movement of going from earth to sky through your body is very uplifting for the mood, for the spirit, but it's also an upward cleanse. So here we use our imagination and we allow it to become our reality. We imagine the earth chi like water flushing up through our body, smiling as we lift up, and then we surround the body with a healing cocoon of light. Let's do a movement for purifying the body. I'm going to just rest my hands kind of at my heart center like this. This area of my body is called a dantian, which means a field of elixir. And I'm going to show you how to purify the body. So it's all coordinated with the breath. We'll take an inhale. And as we exhale, we gently push forward as we sink down. And you can think about releasing stress or anxiety, especially that might be stored in the heart. Inhale back to center. Exhale, push up, but let your shoulders drop down as if you're lifting off your burdens. Inhale back down. Exhale, push out with the intention that you have the ability to separate mountains, but with gentleness. Inhale back in. And then exhale, push down anything that's rising that is no longer of service. So it's purification, an important phase of a Qigong practice. As our own field, our own fields of energy, our bodies, physically, emotionally, energetically, can get, they need to be cleaned. They might be, you might have listened to too much news or listened to someone else rather than yourself. And we get sort of off center, derailed by that. So this purification routine I find very empowering, very invigorating, and a wonderful way to allow the body to really cleanse on a very safe, simple level. Very good. And then let's imagine that, this is very important to understand that when we practice, we remind ourselves of our connection to all that's around us. So even though we're in Zoom here, we are connecting energetically. And even though we're inside, maybe some of you are outside, we have a connection to the outside. So if I raise one arm and lower the other arm, I'm reminding myself that my body is between what's below and what's above, earth and sky. And then I'm just going to sort of feel or slowly experience the energy around my body as I do this form that's called heaven and earth, stretching my spine, but in a very gentle and relaxed way. And as we do this, the slower you move up and down, the more you feel connected, as if there's a beam of light through your body, connecting you down to the core of the earth and maybe up to your North Star. Again, I'm just giving you tiny bits of practice here because it's such a vast practice. Let me show you one of my favorite movements called bone marrow washing. We take an inhale, and then I let my left hand hold on to my right. It's called a hand seal. I lift up, maybe on my toes, or maybe I just lift up my spine. And then as I exhale, it's imagining this beam of sunlight coming through my body. From the side, you'll see I just sort of sink down, and then I wash off my legs as I expel the old and I engage with the new, and then I settle back into the here and the now. It's going to do two more of these. So, very ancient practice from the 12th century, again called bone marrow washing. As you breathe out, imagine light, purity coming through your body, giving you an opportunity to expel the old so your body can engage with the new and then settle into the preciousness of the here and the now. Step your feet a little closer together. We'll close before I give a gentle introduction to the next presenter. I'm going to bring my hands down toward my heart center. And I want to end not only with a meditation and a visualization, but with a little bit of sound healing. As we know that vibration is super powerful, probably more powerful than movement. So as I guide you through the sound, I want you to trust that the sound knows where to go in your body and establish that intention that your body is in a state of healing when we do our sound and when we do our movement. So the sound we will end with is Ong, O-N-G. And I just want you to think of it as like sunlight, moonlight, whatever type of light you resonate with, rising up through your body, especially your organ systems, your breast area, your throat, and all of your brain and all the glandular structures in your brain. Again, clearing and cleansing upward. So I'll do 3 rounds with you. Again, the sound is Ong, O-N-G. Let's try it together with our hands upward. We're showing the sound how to go up. Inhaling together. Do 2 more. Inhale. And last one. I hope you take that physiological sigh of letting go with me, the sound of thank the earth. Point your fingers down. Make a diamond shape over your body, and let's take a moment of deep gratitude to express gratitude to the inside of our bodies, all parts of the body included, We know that gratitude also boosts the immune system. So I can't hear you, so I'm going to encourage you to whisper a prayer to yourself, or just say, thank you. Thank you, body. Thank you, organs, for helping me to stay centered. And then we brush our hands up and we bow down to be of service. Very quickly tap the body. And as I'm preparing to introduce you to Tess, tapping also great for detoxing the body. And I'm just tapping and also cupping over areas of my body that need a little stimulation. Ending on the kidneys with as high as you can get up. We're in kidney time of day, so the kidneys really benefit from any type of self-massage between the hours of really 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. Let's close again, find our center, and just bow down to one another, saying a prayer for our own healing journey. She and namaste. I'm turning over the webinar to Tess. Super grateful to learn from her, and thank you all so much.
Thanks, Julie. I really enjoyed oiling my joints. I feel like I'm going to be doing that daily now. Hello, everybody. My name is Tess Gillette. I'm the owner and head trainer of Sonos Equestrian. Kind of new to the Zoom thing, so bear with me for a second. Okay. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to speak to you all about this new program that we have at Sonos called Harmony Through Horsemanship. And I'm going to kind of go over why I started this program and all the benefits of the horses and what they do for us. So I grew up with horses. Actually, my family jokes around saying that I was basically born and raised in a barn, which I think is probably true. Horses and teaching people about them has always been my passion. And even though I always had horses and a job working with them, I always dreamed of being able to have my own barn and to be able to run my own program. And then that dream became a reality. So I officially opened up Sonos Equestrian in July of 2020, right in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, which was quite interesting. Since it was summertime at that time, we were able to be outside and we were able to safely practice social distancing and able to still kind of maintain some kind of a normal life, interacting with each other. My amazing clientele consisted mostly of teenage girls and a handful of adults, and together we all worked side by side, putting the barn together and fixing fence boards and caring for the horses and cleaning out paddocks and pulling weeds and painting and taking down cobwebs. And it was everybody together that has helped to create Sonos and what it is today. So I always knew growing up how therapeutic horses were. I first experienced it firsthand after my parents went through their divorce, and how I really leaned on my horses, and I would find comfort in the barn and being around them. And then as you know, I got older, going through life and being a teenager and high school and everything. And it's all the stressors of every day and how much those horses literally saved me. But I did not appreciate how therapeutic and how much of a miracle they are for so many other people until September 2020, when my teenage girls started going back to school, and they would show up at the barn after their lessons and they would be stressed and anxious and they didn't want to talk, and they weren't the same girls that I, enjoyed being with all summer. They were really moody, and if there was all this drama, and or they were really quiet and sad. But I would watch as they interacted with the horses, just even picking up a broom and doing barn chores, or brushing a horse, or tacking them up, or even just walking next to them and grazing them and caring for them, how it was like a giant weight was lifted off every single time. And I would slowly watch as all those stresses and the anxiousness would kind of drift away. And I would see them smile, and then they're laughing, and they were just completely relaxed and they could breathe. And it was just so refreshing. And that's when I kind of realized that this was deeper than what I really thought it ever was. So here's a fun fact for you. So a horse's electromagnetic field is 5 times larger than humans. It can influence your heart rate, blood pressure, and overall mood. So my horses can sense if I'm in a bad mood, or if I'm in a silly mood or happy or whatever, even before I walk over and I touch them, which is pretty insane. So, some more benefits of interacting with horses is horses help calm your mind and soothe your nerves, reduce stress hormones and anxiety, help with fighting depression, improves moods and the ability to sleep by increasing serotonin, reduces blood pressure, and lowers your heart rate. So, that little guy in the corner, that's Mr. Superman. Okay. So, what is horsemanship? This slide doesn't seem to want to work, but we'll see. Horsemanship is the art, skill, and knowledge of effectively and ethically interacting with horses. It encompasses various aspects like handling, training, riding, and caring for horses, all while fostering a strong partnership built on trust and respect. So it was a combination of horsemanship, which is the solid foundation of everything in our industry, and what I was seeing firsthand with my teenage girls and how therapeutic it was for them, that brought me to creating this program. So, what is, if my slideshow wants to work, what is harmony through horsemanship? Harmony through horsemanship is a skill-based program that takes place on the ground, so no riding involved. Unmounted education is the foundation of good horsemanship. Everything always starts on the ground. These sessions focus on learning everything you need to know about owning and caring for horses, all while still being able to embrace and be a part of all the magic that they have to offer. So we offer 1-hour sessions for this, and some of the topics and things that we cover during these sessions are learning how to safely approach and handle a horse, understanding proper leading techniques and safe tying practices, learning to groom, clean hooves, and maintain a horse's coat, cleaning stalls, although we don't do that very often, even though that's therapeutic for me, maintaining tack and understanding barn routines, learning about equine communication, understanding stress signals and managing stable vices, how horses communicate with each other and how they communicate with us, understanding basic dietary needs and balancing diets, and learning about common health issues, first aid techniques, and emergency care, just to name a few things. So, what are the benefits of harmony through horsemanship? I don't know. What are they? Let's see. Spending time with horses has a calming effect and can help reduce stress and anxiety levels. It can also release endorphins, which boost mood and promote feelings of happiness. Interacting and caring for horses builds confidence and a sense of accomplishment. I know every day that I'm with them, I just, you can't help but feel proud and you can't help but feel love in return for what you're doing for them. And that's such an amazing feeling. Horses are sensitive to human emotions and can mirror these emotions, helping individuals become more aware of their own feelings, which will then help them to learn to regulate them. Forming a bond with a horse can help individuals develop trust and healthy relationships, which then can transfer to human interactions. Now, remember, these are not like a little 10-pound, 20-pound dog. These are big 1,200-pound majestic animals. So at the same time, they could also be very scary. So it does take a lot of trust. Equine activities, including riding and unmounted care, provide physical exercise that can improve heart health, muscle conditioning, balance, and coordination. I can attest firsthand that when I'm at the barn and I'm doing barn chores, I sweat a lot. And I feel like I'm helping get rid of those toxins. Interacting with horses requires being present and in the moment and focus, which can enhance mindfulness skills. So I've had a lot of clients that have said that after we do a horsemanship session, how it felt like they were just meditating and they were doing yoga and just very at a very peaceful place. And caring for horses provides a sense of purpose and responsibility. And I know that that has personally helped me through things. If I'm having a bad day, I know that I have them and I know that they depend on me, and which is very empowering with them being as big and majestic as they are. And it's magical. So trying to get out of let me see how I get out of this thing. I don't know, Sally, am I out of it? Am I out of it? Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So we just basically this program I've noticed through the clients that I have taking it how life changing it has been, and it's not just life changing for the clients but also for the horses themselves. I mean, these horses build bonds with everybody and they remember, and it's really exciting to see the growth that has happened so far with starting this program, and I'm excited to see where it ends up. And we just love being able to have the horses, being able to interact with more people. So if anybody has any questions, you can do it. But I think if David's ready, I can turn it over to him.
Hello, everyone. Is it picking me up on the front? I think it's still on test. Can people see me or are they still seeing tests?
No, you're good, David.
Okay. All right. Hi, my name is David McLean. I'm an acupuncturist here at the Integrative Medicine Department on Park Avenue. I've been treating the side effects here for 10 years, and it's a great clinic here. I think it really helps people get through their treatment and helps everyone really recover from their treatment too. So, I'm sure everyone has probably heard of acupuncture at this point, but I'll just say a little bit about what it is. It's hard to understand what it is until you really get a treatment. But we use these single-use, really fine needles, nothing like a doctor's needle. I know everyone always tells me immediately that they don't like needles. And I love to counter them and say, actually, you don't like doctor's needles because these are completely different. Um, they're really just a point with no hole on the end, like a syringe. And, a lot of the needles, when they go in, you don't feel much. And what people are really surprised is we use these needles to stimulate nerves, to stimulate lymph channels. They stimulate muscle fascia. And we're trying to give the body a little push to we'll start doing these things that have kind of lapsed or reduced and causing discomfort. And, whether a muscle is really tight, maybe the liver isn't really catching up and processing everything that it needs to do. So a typical treatment is someone will come in, we'll discuss their history, discuss what's bothering them, and then they'll get comfortable on this heated table. It's just like a massage table, and we'll put some needles in, and they will actually often take a little nap with them in. There's something very relaxing, very soothing about treatments. There's some that are not that way, but perhaps, further into the treatment, that same person may be even snoring away during their treatment, relaxing and enjoying it. So, it used to take a lot of convincing to people, but I think now just about everyone, if they ask around, they know someone who is in love with acupuncture and what it does for all kinds of conditions that, might not have a great solution for them elsewhere. And the usual amazing compendium of doctors' treatments, there's a lot of things that acupuncture can really provide that relief. So I can kind of talk you through, you know, as someone under treatment for cancer or someone who was under treatment for cancer, what acupuncture can really provide you with. Um, so I think in the beginning, really people, they just want to get through chemo and, they start chemo and the first two are, hey, I often hear them say, it wasn't that bad. I don't know what everyone's talking about, but then maybe it builds up. Maybe the first one is terrible. It depends if they're on platinum salts, or what the particular cocktail is. But they also include now in those chemo cocktails over the years, they keep really amazingly changing up the cocktail so that it's less and less stressful for people. There's steroids in there, there's nausea medication often. They may have other things as well. But people will still feel run down, as it builds up, they're completely fatigued. Um, they may also feel digestive problems. That's a really big one. They don't feel like eating anything. They can't hold something down. They may be vomiting. They may just have a general feeling of nausea all day. Yeah, and also just that fatigue. They may have some really bad insomnia. And they may say, "Oh, I suddenly feel 10 years older. I can't fall asleep," or they can't stay asleep. They often will wake up at between 1 and 3 a.m. and they'll come in. We'll talk it over. We'll do a treatment. They'll relax. We'll put the needles in, and often when people get up, they say, I'm already feeling so much better. So a lot of people will tell me they feel better than before they had the chemo. It really just stimulates. And often, going through that cancer treatment, everyone tells me, all the clients teach me about this, that, there's a trauma to it. It's a very intense treatment. It's also very much life-saving, but it's very traumatic on the body to have to be reduced like that. So it's great to be able to wipe that slate clean a little bit. It really stimulates back this feeling of again, instead of being sighing all the time. Ah, everything is such a struggle. You have so little resources left because your body's processing all these chemicals. And yeah, that gives you some idea. A lot of people come through during the chemos and we treat that. It's really great. From the chemo, you can also get neuropathy, which is this first, it's maybe an ache or a tingling in the hands and the feet. Most often the fingertips first. Some people do cold capping now with the cold mitts, and that can help. That can really help. Actually, after the chemo is over, we don't recommend actually having anything cold. I think people will feel that it feels terrible after the cold. And but this numbness starts as an ache and a pain, and later turns into a numbness in the hands and feet. And a lot of people come in for that. A lot of people will tell me that they are very surprised that it started weeks after chemo was over, even a couple months after chemo was over, that they started to get this. There's some chemo in the tissue still, a little bit, affecting those very fine dendrites of the nerves, and it kind of puts it into this dormancy. And you're not getting that feedback, that feeling. Walking may feel difficult. Fine motor skills with the hands, knitting, opening things, you know, typing, using a pen. So the neuropathy takes a little longer to treat than, you know, the other things we spoke about, the digestion, the fatigue. Those are quick, but the neuropathy is slow. So I have to talk somebody into it. I did some research with one of the oncologists here. We had a great study for 18 months where we tested all these treatments and their effect on neuropathy. They're also their effect on the side effects of the anastrozole and the other AI drugs to see what it really did, how much it reduced the pain, how much it reduced the ache. And I've really ironed out these treatments really well, but they take time. Anything with the nerves is slow. Nerves are slow to feel that action of that, you know, reducing their function, that dormancy from the neuropathy. It's slow to set in and it's slow to recover, but it really works great. And along that process, people also don't just feel better neuropathy. They feel a little more at ease, less taxed, sleep is a little better. I hear it. And I see their face change too through these neuropathy treatments. So I got to keep telling them, you know, they may feel a little something on the first treatment. They may feel a little something on the fifth treatment. But then it slowly builds up. There's recommendations for them. Keep their hands off of cold floors. Keep the hands and feet warm, even in the summer, even tile floors, wood floors, wear slippers. Doctors may really want you to take some B vitamins, then you could talk to your doctor about that. That's often helpful. What isn't helpful, alcohol and sugar, you know, I tell people it's really good to reduce those. Battling any of these side effects, just reduce them. You will definitely feel better. Okay, next up is post-surgery. So lumpectomy, mastectomy, reconstruction, cleaning up any of those other procedures, lymph node removal. All those surgeries, I can really improve the side effects of those. So what are the side effects? When the lymph nodes are removed, you can get lymphedema down the arm. You know, even one node, you know, sometimes they might, you know, remove up to 10 nodes. It just depends. And then maybe a tightness results a little later, just soreness in the shoulder. You're not, maybe just bringing it back is really painful. Things that, you know, carrying a bag is suddenly a burden. People are sometimes are not sure. It might not be strong enough where they can't connect it to the lymph nodes. But when we discuss it, you know, it turns out that actually this is lymphedema. There is a medical term for the lymphedema where they measure the circumference, but I think even the same process, very low level, we treat it. This is pretty quick. This is much quicker than neuropathy. The shoulder pain, also a post-surgical pain in the area around the breast, back into the armpit. The lymphedema may actually manifest back here, back behind there in the axial region or around the breast area. It all improves very quickly. It's really exciting. 2 treatments makes a huge difference. The client comes in the next week, they're like, oh my God, I can really move it around better. It doesn't wake me up at night. You know, maybe we got to do a maintenance treatment down the road, but it's a wonderful treatment. Okay, so the AI drugs, these are for, you know, to reduce the estrogen in the body. You know, when you have a cancer present that, you know, thrives with these hormones, these estrogenic hormones, so they'll cut it using different medications. You know, that includes letrozole, anastrozole. There's 2 others on this. There's 2 other newer ones. It's not coming to my mind right now. Tamoxifen as well. You know, So what happens with those? A lot of people will report, some people have no symptoms and they're fine. And other people they feel much older overnight, which is like an ache everywhere, and they have a fatigue. So all the joints will ache. And this was part of the research that I did with one of the oncologists, and it takes time. So we would treat, often this will present with some neuropathy as well. So we treat those together and it improves really nicely. It just takes time to do that. And other things will improve as well. Mood will feel better, feel lighter, energy a little better. Bone pain. So with chemo and some other treatments, we get some bone loss. And to prevent from that, you can get any of the different shots periodically to boost, strengthen the bones. And the side effect of that shot actually is this really strong bone ache, which is a sign that the medication is working. I have a great treatment for that. It will even work when by the time they leave, they often will feel much better, if not the second treatment. That is really exciting as well. And I wish more people would avail themselves of that. I've met many people who suffered through those feelings of the bone pain, but it works great. Next up, some other stuff. Let's get to the stress first. And I think we don't have a ton of time left, but Sally wanted me to talk about stress, as mindfulness is a big topic. What is stress? I think we all know when we feel stressed. It's often not bad enough that we kind of work through it. We could spend 10 years stressed. We make adrenaline when we're stressed. We get a phone call, we're really worried. We get some news that we don't like, we get in an argument with someone, we could be rushing from one appointment to the other. And your body starts to make adrenaline. It gives us a lot of energy to our muscles. Adrenaline and the other adrenal hormones are really stimulating. They give us quick energy, but then quite afterwards, you might feel that, if you have to stop short with your car, you might feel this rush, and then later you feel exhausted. So we get this quick energy, but there is an exhaustion that happens. It also pulls circulation away from the gut and puts it in our muscles. So acupuncture is great. Oh, so what else might you experience? You might have loose stools or constipation. It may alternate, which is the most common of someone who's really stressed. Someone we listen. If they're constantly sighing, we know that they're a certain type of stress that we treat all the time in Chinese medicine. It feels wonderful to treat that, to take off that burden of when they leave, they say instead of this run down sighing feeling. Yeah, so they might have a short fuse. People may feel the cycle may be off by the stress. Happens all the time. Cramping is worse from stress. Let's see. Yeah, just that feeling of having to run from one item to the next during your day, and you just don't have that ease. That's really the biggest missing element when you're stressed. So we stimulate the liver a lot. We stimulate some nerves coming up the front of the legs, going to the stomach and the liver, and some others to help open the chest and also to calm the mind and get in the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the opposite of the fight or flight, the sympathetic nervous system. We put some things in, people relax, they may fall asleep through that treatment. It's really wonderful. That may often needs to be repeated because we have these patterns in us that we've learned. It's hard to let them go. It takes time. Acupuncture is a wonderful, wonderful way to treat it and to just bring that elevation of the nervous system on high alert down. That's really what it does. When you feel it, you will be surprised. It is a natural, wonderful. Some ways you could do this at home is exercise. You could do Qigong. I'm sure some time at the stable would be incredibly grounding and de-stressing as well. Let's see. I want people to start chiming in with any questions quickly into the chat. Something else I treat all the time is pain, back pain, neck pain, hip pain, knee pain, very common to come in with. I can often do a lot in one treatment. I may run a little electricity through the needle first and then do this type of calming traditional acupuncture treatment. It you will be very surprised about what we can do in one treatment with shoulder pain, frozen shoulder, any of the back pain. How do I contact you or come in for a treatment? Okay. My email address, of my website actually is McLeanacu, McLeanacu.com. I will type in a minute, I will type my phone number in too, but it's 917-514-4806. So you can text me. That's the best way to get a really quick reaction. If you want to just see a little more about what I do and where I do it, I'm at Park Avenue on Tuesdays and Thursdays in Trumbull. I'm also down in Greenwich. It's a much different system down there. Here we have a really low price for people under treatment. It's only $60. If you're not under treatment, it's only $95. You can look around. It's a wonderful price that they tell me to keep low for people under treatment. It's really why they have me here. Thank you for posting that. What else could I say? Oh, the GYN issues works wonderful. You know, any issues with the cycle, scanty cycle, heavy cycle, no cycle, or just cramping and pain, any kind of irritability before the cycle, please avail yourself of this. It works great. Another thing to think about is a lot of this style that I use for all these treatments. You know, if someone has back pain, I may actually do some needles where the pain is, but just about all the side effects, I'm not going to put needles where the issue is. It's often on the arms and legs, or maybe a little on the ears. You'll be surprised. It's in a place that will not really bother you. It's super safe. It's this method called master tongue method. I learned it after school, and it's really reliable, very, very peaceful feeling. So see if there's any more questions here. All right. I see there's a question here for Julie Moffett, the difference between Qigong and Tai Chi. Oh, she already answered it there. Okay, wonderful. Thanks for hearing me out. Please avail yourself, get in touch. Other people are welcome to come in for treatments as well. It's open to the public. I had several people here that were just found me online or were friends and families of people under treatment. Thanks for listening. Don't hesitate to ask questions, as many as you need to feel comfortable. Thank you. So Sally, are we having a...
Just looking, I think that's it for the questions. Thank you all for participating and for giving up your time tonight. We really appreciate it. And happy Survivors Week to all of our survivors. Thanks, everyone.